The toy poodle weighed 9 pounds and had been dismissed as decorative for most of his 6 years. He was named Biscotti. He lived with Margot, who was 71, and had been her companion since her husband passed. He slept in her armchair. He ate a specific food from a specific dish at a specific time. He had opinions about television programming. Specifically, he preferred nature documentaries and grew restless during anything with a laugh track. When Margot's granddaughter Penny came to stay for the summer with her 8-week-old daughter Rose, Biscotti made 2 assessments in the first hour of their arrival. The first was that Penny was acceptable. The second was that the baby required attention. He established his position not beside Rose's bassinet, which would have required permission to access the guest room, but in the hallway directly outside the guest room door, where he could monitor proceedings from a location that required no negotiation. This was typical Biscotti, strategic, efficient, never demanding more access than necessary. What was not typical was what he did with his first night of this new assignment. At 2:43 a.m., Biscotti walked to Margot's bedroom, jumped onto her bed, and stood on her stomach until she woke. Margot had not been woken this way in 6 years. She said, "What on earth?" Biscotti walked to the bedroom door and stood there. Margot followed. She was 71 years old and arthritic in her right hip, and she moved through the hallway with the careful navigation of someone who knew every obstacle in the dark. Biscotti led her to the guest room door. She opened it. Penny was asleep. Rose was in the bassinet. The room was quiet. Margot stood in the doorway for a moment, registering the room. She noticed the space heater. It was a small electric space heater that Penny had set up in the corner of the guest room, because old houses in summer can be cool at night, and the guest room did not have a vent. It was a reasonable decision. The heater was a model that Margot did not recognize, brought from Penny's own home, plugged into the wall socket nearest the baseboard. The smell was faint, not smoke, something else, the smell of plastic that has been warmer than it should be for longer than it should be. Margot unplugged the heater. She opened the window. She sat in the chair beside the bassinet and stayed there until the room had aired. In the morning, she examined the heater. The cord had a manufacturing defect, a thin spot in the insulation near the plug housing, not visible unless you knew to look for it. The heater had been running warm, and the cord had been running warmer for several hours. At the rate it was going, the fire safety engineer who looked at it later said it would have become a fire event within another 2 to 3 hours. Biscotti had smelled the hot insulation. 9 pounds. Decorative, allegedly. He had smelled the faint chemical difference between a cord running at normal operating temperature and a cord exceeding it, and he had gone to wake the one person in the house whose job it was to respond. Penny held him for a long time that morning, sitting on the edge of the guest bed. She was crying. She was not making a sound with it, just the wet, silent version of relief that comes when you understand what did not happen. Rose was in the bassinet 3 feet away, asleep, breathing clean morning air through an open window. Biscotti sat in Penny's arms with the absolute patience of a small animal who has done something significant and does not require acknowledgement for it. He had done his job. He had woken the right person at the right time. He accepted the holding graciously, as he accepted most things. Then he looked toward the door, because breakfast was at 7:30 and it was already 7:28, and some things did not change regardless of the drama of the night before. Margot went to make his food. He had earned it.